Governor DeSantis, I watched your video this evening and how you embraced one school superintendent's comparison of reopening schools to Navy SEALs getting the job done. This is my response. I am a public school teacher in Hillsborough County. My wife is a school counselor at the same school. We both have been discussing school reopening plans and concerns with our colleagues. What struck me the most about our conversations was our colleagues' fear of dying if they return to brick and mortar school, and that our leaders are expecting too much while not doing enough to respect our safety. It took me a while to process that. As someone who joined the Navy at 17, graduated from the Naval Academy, and served for 24 years before retiring, the possibility of dying for my country was implicit in the oath that I took to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. I accepted that reality for myself, and it was something I was confronted with when I made leadership decisions. I felt it deeply when deciding which of my sailors would be deployed to Iraq instead of Kuwait, and when I served as a Casualty Assistance Calls Officer, or CACO, for two families whose loved one died on active duty. Military service is often a matter of life and death, and the weight of my oath is still core to who I am today. When I retired from the Navy, I moved from one profession to another, teaching. I have a sense of mission accomplishment as a teacher, and I view our faculty and students as my shipmates. Of course, there are a few major differences between these professions. First, there is no oath to take as a teacher, just an annual contract. Second, teachers are not expected to risk their lives to teach, although this is changing post-Parkland shooting and in the time of COVID-19. Now, there is always risk in teaching. Schools are super spreaders of illness, as I found out when I caught the flu from a student 2 years ago at the end of May. Although teachers are not required to physically break up fights, most do not hesitate to put themselves at risk so that students do not get hurt. Ensuring student health and safety is job one. Every year on day one of school, I promise each of my students that if a bad guy with bad intentions enters our classroom, I will never go to their funeral because I will have died protecting them. I think that society expects teachers will act to defend their students. When I was in the Navy, however, society compensated me for being willing to sacrifice my life. America closed the military pay gap, increased housing allowances, gave bonuses and tax-free income in combat zones, increased GI Bill benefits, and so much more. Our society does not similarly compensate teachers while expecting us to risk our lives in public service. We routinely tell veterans, "Thank you for your service," yet respect for teachers seems hollow when you compare expectations versus compensation. That needs to change. If teachers must risk our lives at our jobs, it is also time to compensate them for the same things. If you were to compare a classroom teacher to a SEAL team leader, the typical teacher would be comparable to a chief petty officer in the Navy. A Navy chief with less than 2 years experience living in Tampa would receive at least $66,000 a year in salary and allowances. A chief with over 6 years experience, which would be me, makes $9,000 more, and a chief with over 20 years experience makes almost $90,000 per year. In addition, instead of paying almost $1,000 per month for health insurance, Navy SEALs have free health insurance for themselves and their family. Navy SEALs and their families can take advantage of tax-free shopping, fleet and family support centers, and free gym memberships, just to name some additional benefits. So in sum, Governor, please do not compare educators to Navy SEALs unless you are ready to acknowledge that teachers are putting their lives on the line in the classroom and that you are ready to provide compensation and respect for what we do. Thank you.